Tonight on Cougar News, students react to the Oklahoma tornado disaster.
Plus, Armed Forces Day at Newhall Library succeeded in its mission to prepare care packages for deployed troops from the SCV.
Also, we'll give you the latest on the Amgen tour coverage. Cougar News starts now.
This is Cougar News.
Hello and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Travis Wade.
And I'm Stacy Lewis. Here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom. On Monday, a devastating tornado hit Moore, Oklahoma and left many without homes. Even CLC students felt remorse for those in Oklahoma. Our own Kiana Nua went out to get local student reactions on the disaster.
As we all know by now, a series of storms swept across the plains yesterday in one of the most destructive tornadoes in history.
On May 20th in Oklahoma, the tornado touched the ground at 2:56 p.m. and became approximately 1.3 miles wide with a wind range from 200 to 210 miles per hour.
Anything that happens like that is extremely unbelievable until it happens to you. So that's why I feel like I would never want to live on the East Coast, because it seems like a lot of natural disasters happen in the East Coast. Any natural disaster like that, it's got to be like, if it's happening to you, I could imagine it has to feel like maybe you're in a movie or something, because everyone talks about what you should do in certain situations, but no one really knows what to do.
I'm glad that we're taking such a proactive stance toward a recovery effort and stuff like that. There's a lot of volunteer movements going out there to help out.
Our prayers are with the people of Oklahoma today, and we will back up those prayers with deeds for as long as it takes. Thank you very much.
Many people are upset about what happened in Oklahoma, but there are many ways to donate. You can donate $10 by texting Red Cross to 90999. And for Cougar News, I'm Kiana Nua.
The Santa Clarita Sheriff's Station is looking to set the record straight on an incident at City Hall. During last week's City Council meeting, a man and a woman engaged in a heated exchange over the placement of a new cell tower in town. Authorities say at one point the man aggressively poked the woman's arm with his finger. The woman later filed a report with the Sheriff's Department. Rumors had been swirling on local blogs that the altercation involved City Council members, but it didn't. The investigation into the poke is ongoing. No arrests have been made.
Visitors of this weekend's SCV Street Fair will have the chance to donate to victims of the recent Boston bombings. Local businesses, the SCV Book Exchange, and TK Events have paired up to create a charity to help the cause. Jacqueline Sepulveda has more.
The Santa Clarita Street Fair will be having its monthly marketplace fun this weekend, May 25th and 26th at College of the Canyons. Visitors of the fair will have the opportunity to support Bands for Boston, a charity event hosted by TK Events and the SCV Book Exchange, made to help the victims of the Boston tragedy.
I was actually in a hotel room in Miami, Florida when it came on the news, and it was like the first thing that popped in my head was, we got to do something. So many bad things happen every day, and it's one of those things where if you can make a difference in just one person's life, then I feel like you're doing your job as a person.
TK Events and the SCV Book Exchange are proud to support the cause. They'll be hosting a booth at the fair, giving all donations to One Fund Boston, a foundation that was created to assist the families and victims affected by the tragic events during the Boston Marathon.
So we decided to sell t-shirts for $12 a piece or wristbands for $6. You can get them both together for $15. Or if you're not interested in owning a shirt or a band, we'd appreciate any type of donation.
This weekend will be Taylor's second charity event to be hosted by TK Events and Promotions, a company that Kellstrom started in April of 2013 that will be dedicated to hosting events of all kinds.
And I've been extremely blessed in my lifetime. I've been so many great places, and my business, it does pretty well. So to be able to help people that aren't as fortunate is really what drives me to do these type of things.
Make sure to visit the Santa Clarita Street Fair this weekend, open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. As a community, we can unite to raise money for the families most affected by this tragedy. Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Jacqueline Sepulveda.
The American dream is an idea that most American youth take advantage of. But for other young people living in America, it's a dream they have to make a reality. Carlos Ravello went out to explore how immigrants are making their American dream come alive.
Una de las frases del presidente Barack Obama en una conferencia refiriéndose a la reforma migratoria fue: una manera de fortalecer la clase media es con una reforma migratoria. Para que no haya más economía informal, que explote mano de obra barata y que merme los sueldos de los demás. Es fácil prometer, lo difícil es cumplir. Y con más de 11 millones de indocumentados viviendo circunstancias difíciles día a día, el sueño americano se está convirtiendo en pesadilla. Estudiantes con ganas de salir adelante tratan de sobrevivir en una sociedad que el estatus legal es esencial para cumplir sus metas. A pesar de todos los obstáculos, Karen Benítez, nacida en la Ciudad de México, inmigró con sus padres a los Estados Unidos con tan solo 6 meses de nacida, buscando una mejor vida. Ella fue beneficiada por el Dream Act y ahora es estudiante de historia en College of the Canyons.
Soy parte de los Dreamers.
We are the Dreamers! Mighty, mighty Dreamers! Mighty, mighty Dreamers!
Es un grupo de chicos indocumentados que los trajeron aquí desde pequeños y hemos crecido aquí, fuimos a la escuela. Básicamente somos americanos, pero origen de México, Guatemala, El Salvador y otros países. Entonces lo que nosotros hacemos es decimos nuestra historia, compartimos los obstáculos que tenemos que pasar para todavía ser reconocidos como americanos, para tener un camino a ser ciudadanos algún día.
El optimismo es una palabra clave en todo este proceso de la inmigración. Y así como Karen ha luchado por su educación, también nunca ha dejado de perder la fe y la esperanza.
Ahorita, como se está viendo todo, yo tengo esperanzas que va a pasar una reforma. A lo mejor no es lo que todos queremos, pero que sea algo justo para la gente que sí ha luchado, que paga sus taxes, que realmente sí se merece hacerse ciudadano, que pase esa reforma. Y yo pienso que sí va a pasar. A lo mejor no va a ser gran cosa, no los vamos a hacer ciudadanos en 5 años, va a tomar tiempo, pero es algo, y algo es mejor que nada.
La palabra rendirse es prohibida en el diccionario de los Dreamers, y la mayoría de los estudiantes tienen la ilusión que tarde o temprano todos los impedimentos de los inmigrantes llegará a su fin.
Sí, eso se ve que va para adelante y es algo que nos da mucha emoción. Bueno, a mí también como inmigrante, pero me da mucho gusto por las personas que van a poderse beneficiar de esto. Personalmente tengo también familia en Texas que son mis sobrinos y también quieren seguir estudiando y pues esto les va a permitir. Entonces, y aquí también en College of the Canyons tengo varios compañeros que por X razón no se pueden transferir porque es muy caro pagar la universidad y con este programa pues van a poder seguir adelante y eso es algo muy bueno.
El proyecto de ley para reformar inmigración será introducido el próximo mes de junio. Veremos qué les prepara el futuro a los indocumentados en los Estados Unidos. Para Cougar News, Carlos Revelo.
Be sure to watch a special Spanish edition of Cougar News, airing exclusively on www.cougarnews.com.
This week is White Ribbon Week, a week that promotes safety for teen drivers and raises awareness for those injured in car accidents. Our own Haley Cook has a special report in the importance of safe driving throughout the Santa Clarita Valley.
Safe Driving Awareness Week is all about making responsible choices while driving and brings back the memory of all the young drivers affected by high-speed accidents. It's hard to believe that on this seemingly quiet canyon road in Canyon Country, there's an unknown danger. An oak tree located on a straightaway that has been involved in 3 deaths in the last decade. The most recent victim is 29-year-old Brittany Schlumpberger, who slammed into the tree on May 1st. Before her was 19-year-old Dakota DeMott, who was a passenger in a street race gone wrong. And the first fatality was 17-year-old David Harold Spencer, who was traveling over 80 miles per hour and lost control in 1981.
The White Ribbon program started a number of years ago, and basically it's a top-of-mind awareness campaign. Back in 2006, when they did this program, there were 24 names on these cards of students who's lost their lives in traffic collisions, whether it be from fatigue, alcohol, a bad choice being made. So we're here today at Saugus High School to remind people about the White Ribbon Program, present the white ribbons and the cards. This year, the card has 5 names on it of local teenagers that have lost their lives in traffic collisions. We're going to ask everybody to make smart choices, wise choices.
So on this busy graduation weekend, drive responsibly and be aware of your surroundings. Reporting from Sand Canyon Road in Canyon Country, I'm Haley Cook for Cougar News.
Now we toss it over to Rachel Gout with the latest in breaking news.
What have you got for us, Rachel?
Thanks, guys. A UCLA library worker fell to his death Tuesday in what is suspected to be a possible suicide. Campus police received the call early Tuesday evening of a man who had appeared to have jumped off the engineering building. The man is reported to be 47-year-old Ronaldo Quitos, an assistant to the Southern Regional Library facility. Police say it appears Quitos either fell or jumped from the building. The White House Budget Office said Wednesday the student loan plan flooded by the GOP does not guarantee low interest rates for students and ultimately creates some uncertainty. The office also states that if President Obama were presented the current bill to keep interest rates from doubling, officials would urge a veto. House and Senate Democrats have advised a 2-year extension of current rates while lawmakers work on a long-term solution. Finally, 5 College of the Canyon students will be traveling to Nicaragua as a part of the Santa Clarita Valley International Program this June. During this 5-day trip, students will work to complete a global project for needy families. COC professor Dr. Claudia Acosta says through this project, COC students learned about local and global sustainability issues. For more information about this project or to donate, contact Claudia Acosta at claudia.acosta@canyons.edu. Well, that's the latest in breaking news. Remember to check us out on the web at www.cougarnews.com for all the latest news in the Santa Clarita Valley. I'm Rachel Gout. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Rachel. Some people write papers for extra credit, while others do class projects related to them. But some Cougars decide to spend their time for extra credit listening to speeches in Hasley Theater, Room 101. While a 2-hour speech showcase may sound like a long, tiring lecture session, COC students were on the edge of their seats as they listened to what turned out to be an entertaining evening. Everything from lighthearted, comedic speeches that were like mini plays to raising awareness on car safety for children was presented at the speech showcase on Tuesday night. The event, hosted by Professor Michael Leach from the Communications Department, presented works written and published by COC students. Auditions to join the team will be held on June 14th. Students of all skill levels are welcome to join, as it's a requirement to be coachable. For more information on auditions, contact Michael Leach at michael.leach@canyons.edu.
We all deal with the struggle of traffic here in Southern California, and there are few places worse than the 405 freeway and the constant construction. Our own Tigran Martirosyan went to see it for himself and how the renovations will help in the future.
For the past 4 years, the I405 freeway has been under construction, and through all the closures, demolitions, and Carmageddons, they still have a ways to go, not turning their focus on the Sepulveda Pass and Mulholland Bridge. The end result is supposed to improve one of the worst traffic-congested freeways in California, but LA commuters don't feel the expected result is worth all the money and inconvenience.
One day I went to Santa Monica and drove from Santa Monica to here about 7 o'clock, and the traffic was horrific. It took me an hour to get from Santa Monica to Westwood, and it's all because of the construction. No one can get on the freeway, no one can get off the freeway.
You know, I think the real thing that they should be doing is increasing the amount of public transportation and the options for public transportation. I think that's going to help in terms of traffic congestion. I think that would be a more cost-effective way of doing it.
The entire construction itself isn't expected to be finished until fall of 2013. But that's not soon enough for California residents who've seen over $1 million of their tax money be put into these projects. So what exactly is being done to improve the 405 experience? Well, with 2 new lanes being added on each side, time stuck in traffic will be reduced by more than 13 million hours per year. That's an average of more than 40 hours a year for each regular user of the I-405. So considering the amount of money spent on the entire project, that'll save the average 405 driver about 10 minutes on their daily commute.
More people are coming. More people and more cars. No matter what you do, it's going to be more and more. I remember you could go on the freeway at 2 o'clock at night, there'd be 3 cars. Now you go on the freeway any time of night, there's 100,000 cars.
Well, construction has been an inconvenience for many commuters. Caltrans officials say LA residents should remain patient, and the end result will certainly be worth the wait. Reporting from Westwood, California, I'm Tigran Martirosyan, Cougar News.
Coming up next on Cougar News, we'll show you why people are already getting their wallets ready for the holiday season.
Plus, we'll catch you up on all the latest in entertainment for summer. Stay tuned.
When you're in the mood for endless Italian dishes, Vincenzos Pizza is your one-stop shop.
From their hand-tossed thin crust pizzas to their meaty Chicago dogs and their toasty sandwiches.
To their creamy chicken Alfredo pasta.
I love their chicken Alfredo pasta.
Vincenzo's New Hall has exactly what your appetite desires.
With fresh ingredients, 12 cold beers on tap, and live entertainment on the weekend, you will not be disappointed.
Vincenzos Pizza, inch for inch, the best pizza in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Art is life. Art is love. Art is patience.
Seven years ago, Microsoft released its state-of-the-art video game console to the world, the Xbox 360. After hundreds of game titles and millions of hours played, Microsoft has revealed its next-generation console, called Xbox One. This all-in-one console focuses on connecting the entire living room into a single unit. The Xbox One will combine TV, video games, and online entertainment in one place. Alongside the ability to play games and surf the web, Xbox One will support Skype and let users video chat with their friends straight from their couch while watching their favorite movies. Users can also watch TV and surf the web on the same screen. The Xbox One will be available later this year.
CLC Honors students had a chance to dress up and eat to celebrate their accomplishments. Yasmin Roosevelt was there to join them at the event.
One of the great lessons you're about to learn is that the things you value most in your life are the things you have to fight for, the things you have to struggle for.
While many students try to do just enough work to pass classes, others have gone above and beyond, and their efforts were celebrated at this year's annual honors banquet.
It's been such a great help for me to build my leadership skills, because I'm sure that it will help me for future, because I know a lot of schools, they pay attention on not only on our intelligence of the students, but also how we are outside of the classroom and being active around on campus and doing a bunch of events that really helpful for our society and community.
Following the registration of the event, Chancellor Dr. Diane Van Hook, along with other faculty members, celebrated the achievements of some of COC's hardest working students, along with giving advice for the future.
Well, I think that the banquet is a culmination. It's a celebration for everything they've worked hard to do. I think that it's really important that people are recognized. I think it's important they recognize themselves for their investment of time and energy. So I love this banquet. It didn't used to be formal like this. It used to be a smaller, kind of informal thing. But my goodness, when you invest that much time and energy in doing good things for other people and pursuing your own scholastic interest, you deserve to be recognized. And I think it's fabulous.
The night ended with a candlelit dinner along with a reflection of all the club members' efforts from the past school year. For Cougar News, this is Yasmin Roosevelt.
Trail mix, hygiene supplies, and a thank you card were just some of the things that were mailed to deployed troops from the Santa Clarita Valley. Oscar Rogel helped local volunteers send a little something from home to our brave men and women in uniform.
It was Armed Forces Day, as many volunteers joined Prayer Angels for the Military American Legion, and Hero Home Source LA as they all gathered at the Newhall Library, where the mission was to prepare care packages to be mailed to deployed troops from the Santa Clarita Valley.
Prayer Angels for the Military sends care packages throughout the year. Every month they have at least one packing event. About 3 or 4 times a year the American Legion partners with them. And now with the Newhall Library being opened up, we're able to host the events here in the community room at the library right next door to the American Legion. Your basic care package has got some jerky, some soups, top ramen, maybe a little letter from kids in the schools. I remember on my deployments, my family would send regular boxes, and I'd always tell them, make sure you send enough that I can share with everybody. Anybody who's been deployed, you've always had members in your unit who didn't really get anything regular. They didn't have family at home. They didn't have a wife or a mom and dad that sent them stuff. And we like to be able to step in and make sure that everybody gets something from home and just let them know, you know, we're proud of you. We're ready to have you home. Do your work and get back to us.
As Memorial Day approaches, we should remember it's because of these brave men and women we have the freedom to enjoy our everyday lives. And from a personal experience, being on the receiving end of a care package or a thank you card is very well appreciated. Reporting from the Newhall Library, I am Oscar Rogel for Cougar News and SCV TV.
Now we'll switch it over to Haley Cook for the latest in entertainment.
What's going on in entertainment, Haley?
Thanks, guys. COC Symphonic Band performed recently at the University Center. Gabriel Regalado was there before the show for a sneak peek on the performance.
On Monday, May 13th, the College of the Canyons Symphonic Band performed at the University Center for anyone who would like to join. They performed Old, New, Borrowed, Blue. I was able to catch them rehearsing before the show, giving me a sneak peek for what's to come. Before the show started, I was able to talk to a member of the band about what they are exactly performing and her expectations of the night.
Tonight we're performing several pieces. We're going to have stuff by a wind band, a brass band, and as a full concert band. But most notably, we're going to be playing a Mozart piece, William Tell Overture, and several other really classic pieces. Just to have the audience really appreciate what we're performing and to tap their foot along and really enjoy it.
Also, I talked to a sweet audience member who traveled all the way from Burbank to see the show.
I found out about it at my exercise program down in Burbank. I go to a cardiovascular fitness program at with St. Joe's in Burbank, and that's where I found out about it. Actually, I love band music, and that I think was the whole key why I wanted to come. Plus that I like the program.
Overall, the concert was a hit. With the turnout being more than the previous show, you can predict that the next show will be even better. This is Gabriel Regalado reporting for Cougar News.
Longtime COC student Susan Turner displayed her art exhibit influenced by the mythical story of Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty. John Guerra was there to experience the beauty of the exhibit.
College of the Canyons student Susan Turner is displaying her art piece titled Aphrodite, a mythical installation in the public gallery at the Valencia campus COC Library until May 31st this month. Tonight, I got to check out Susan's Aphrodite exhibit firsthand at the opening reception.
No film goddess had ever before been so worshipped and adored.
Susan pays tribute to the great mythical story of Aphrodite, the uncontested goddess of beauty and love, throughout her art piece. So, Susan, in your words, how would you sum up the story of your art piece, Aphrodite?
I have been doing projections of abstract images for a long time. I like the idea of the multiple images on netting and scrim and the layers of color and duplication.
One may ask, what is the importance of your piece, Susan?
Am I who I am, or the myth you project on me? So many times we don't see people as they are, but what we project on them are our own experiences.
Can you explain the process of making the slides and sculpture rock formations for your art piece?
I've always been kind of interested in theatrical set design and their use of scrim. And I thought, yeah, it might be interesting to project images on scrim where you can see multiple layers. So that's where my inspiration came from. Dogs came from actually a hole in the ground covered with a big black plastic tarp, a whole bunch of chemicals poured into it, and we made styrofoam. Then carved the rocks out of the styrofoam.
So I'm here today at the COC library looking at the Aphrodite exhibit here by Susan. She was nice enough to show her exhibit, and it's been a great opportunity, great experience, and I recommend any of you guys to come over and look at it. Whether you're a student, teacher, parent, grandparent, doesn't matter. We can all appreciate art. I'm Jonathan Garrett with Cougar News. Have a nice day.
Students showcased their poems and short stories at the COC Art Gallery recently, and our own Travis Wade made a stop to see all of the creative writing students made.
We're very excited about presenting to you a fine selection of poetry and prose. Our readers are comprised of COC students and faculty. It is a real pleasure to be able to provide a venue for COC talented writers to share their love for writing.
The COC Art Gallery hosted the Poets and Writers, a celebration of fine writing event on Thursday. Student and faculty alike came together and read original written pieces and poems. Snacks were served as the participants came one by one to share their
Stucco house painted in sand brown. No surprise, he would chuckle, he would smile, indifference. Imagine, on the other hand, Leonardo da Vinci, traveling through a small village in...
Flooding like that, did you hear? The midwife did an extraction, an apartment 2B, a bird.
Many of the pieces reflected writers' responses to recent worldwide tragedies.
Though I'm sure you knew I would be...
Not let them tear us down. We are a solid force, and we march on and on. We will not be stopped. Never tear us apart, but joined in love. Hartsburg, Boston.
So I turned on to the local station there in Boston, the NPR, and I heard the people talking and the interviews going on, and like I said, they were doing clips of the bombs going off and just people screaming and running around. And just hearing it, even though it had already happened and I wasn't there personally, it was really, it was scary, and it really hit me, and it really struck something in me. So I wanted to write something because it was just bothering me so much.
This was the 13th annual Poets and Writers event put on by the English department. They do plan on continuing the tradition next year. Submissions are usually due about a month in advance, and for more information, you can contact the English department. For Cougar News, I'm Travis Wade.
With summer just around the corner, Hollywood is making a big surge in blockbuster hits. Jacob Johnson takes a look at what you could be seeing this summer.
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about
Excuse me.
Superman is not the only movie this summer that is predicted to smash ratings at the box office. In fact, a whole melting pot of much anticipated films are expected to get moviegoers to open their wallets just a little wider and spend more time in line than they will at the beach. Movies like Kick-Ass 2, Monsters University, The Purge, and Hangover 3 are prophesized to bring a whole new meaning to the word blockbuster.
Well, I'm really excited about seeing Fast and Furious 6. I just love the fast cars, the racing, and like the girls too a little bit.
The Heat, because it looks hilarious. Melissa McCarthy is funny as always, and Sandra Bullock.
With so many amazing movies coming out this summer, it's easy to see that Hollywood is going to be quite successful. The big question is, which movie will come out as number one? For Cougar News, I'm Jacob Johnson.
That does it for the latest in entertainment. I'm Haley Cook. Back to you guys at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Haley. College of the Canyons held a special career open house for those who are interested in welding. Our own David Perez was there to catch the sparks of the seminar in action.
The Welding Technology Department held an interactive open house at College of the Canyons Valencia campus Tuesday.
We really want to share this with the local community and business leaders and also our local AWS sections. We have some demonstrations on robotics, so where you would actually program, operate, and this really kind of aligns with the coursework and certificates that we now offer here at the college. We also have demonstrations for laser welding. This is something brand new, probably one of the only community colleges in the United States that has the capability that we have. Come in and try one class. Try one class, and if you more than likely, probably guarantee 99% of the time the students fall in love with welding. And then when they hear about the opportunities, it's really a 1-2 punch, a great match.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm David Perez.
When we come back, find out how Relay for Life is making a difference in the lives of those affected by cancer.
Also, we'll catch up with Canyons Athletics and see how they finish their season. Stay tuned.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
Central Park hosted its 15th annual Relay for Life to help raise money to fund cancer research. The 24-hour celebration focused on life and the joy that it brings. Eric Seller was there to share in the festivities.
The Santa Clarita Relay for Life kicked off its 15th year to help support those that have been affected by cancer and to raise money to find a cure. The event this year is honoring Heather Warwick, who dedicated her life to fighting the disease and who lost her 19-year battle with cancer earlier this year. Everyone is touched by cancer, and many have come today to make a stand.
My teammates and I are here because we've all been personally touched by cancer. We've all lost relatives to cancer, and so it's a really important cause for us. To raise money for the event, we're doing a raffle for an iPad mini, and a 46-inch HD TV, which were all donated by local companies that we do business with.
The 24-hour event brings in close to $500,000 for the American Cancer Society to help fund research and educate in the fight against cancer. The theme of the event is hope, and in the words of Heather Warwick, hope and hopelessness are a choice, so why not choose hope?
Today's event is basically focused around honoring our survivors. We had more than 400 survivors walk this morning in the opening survivor lap. And this evening we do a very beautiful candlelit luminaria ceremony in remembrance of those who didn't quite win their battle. So that's really very touching, and that's probably the biggest highlight of the day.
And as day turned to night, the candles were lit as the community gathered in memory of Heather Warwick and all those that have passed. With a celebratory heart, this is Eric Saylor reporting for Cougar News.
And now the latest in sports with Kyle Gafori.
How'd the Cougars finish the season, Kyle?
It's championship season, and for the COC men's golf team, this is familiar territory. I got the chance to catch up with the team to see how they rebounded from last year's near miss.
They might not be going to Disneyland, but the COC's men's golf team is sure excited about capturing a California state title last week in Carmel.
Oh, it feels great. Like Coach said, it's a week ago today, so it's just kind of starting to set in a little bit.
After the first round of regionals and came back and earned a spot to state, and then at state we were in third after one round and then came back and won. So we didn't play as well as we had all season, but we played well enough to win, which was great. It was the only thing we were really looking to do, so I was happy. It was awesome.
It was pretty cool. We didn't make a good first round, so we fight the second one, and it's always a good sensation to fight and win.
Coach Peterson set his team's standards high after a disappointing end to last year's state championship run to finally getting over the hump and claiming their first state title in 5 seasons.
Right now, if we don't win the state championship, we'll have a disappointing season. So I kind of threw that out to him at the beginning of the season that, we're not going to be satisfied with anything but a state championship.
Last year kind of helped us realize it really comes down to every single stroke on the golf course. So this year we just felt like we had to grind it out, and it really helps knowing that last year that it comes down to every shot. This year at the state championship, after the morning round, we were in third place, we were down 5 shots. And last year we were in first place by 8 shots after the morning round. And so I think that sitting and looking at that really changed, my mindset was a lot different in the fact that, okay, now, we got to go do it and we got to go get it rather than almost like defend it.
It was not fun last year, and this year it was a heck of a lot more fun.
There are many talented athletes here at COC, and many of those have gone on to have professional careers in the NFL. But there's one among the few, right out of Hart High School, who is a person to keep an eye on. Moshe Milan has the latest from the new triple jump state champion, Tim White.
I'm here at COC Stadium on the track with Tim White, practiced and prepared to win this year's California State Championship.
The energy was good. You came in, there was a lot of, adversity, with some jumpers and, some jumpers from the south or the north. But there was definitely a high energy, until that first jump.
I had some time to talk with Tim. He told me a little bit about what it takes to be a champion and how hard he works to get to where he is today.
Well, first I would come out here to the track, do my sprints, conditioning workout, and then I'll go to football. So we'll do our weightlifting, then conditioning again, then regular practice, which ends at about 4:30, and then I'll go to jump practice right after that.
Tim's love for the field is genuine, and every day his practice regimen brings him closer to perfection. His talent has no boundaries. Breaking a high school record on his first triple jump attempt is just one example.
My junior year, I did long jump and high jump, and I led the league in that. I won both championships for that. And then the next year, maybe I could be really good at triple jump. So I tried it one meet. I had an open event, and I was like, hey, coach, let me try it. He taught me right there on the track, actually. And he told me the steps, and then at my first jump, I broke the record.
From the long jump, high jump, and triple jump on the track, and the gridiron and grass of the football field, this former star high school wide receiver excels on the playing field and in the classroom.
Without school, you can't compete. You can't, come out here in the field and practice. Coaches won't let you. So school definitely comes first, and then from there, it's whatever your priorities are.
This Hart High School alumni says he has many more goals to accomplish, and he is humbled by the experience. Winning the state championship and continuing to play football, one of his goals is to get to the NFL. We think he's going to make it there because he has the heart and the soul and the skills of a champion. This is Moshe Milan with Cougar News.
The Amgen Tour of California made a stop through Santa Clarita last week. The famous cycling event is known as one of the biggest cycling events in North America, as well as a big boost for cities such as our own, Santa Clarita. With the event now over and the champions crowned, packs of cyclists traveling across the state will be on hold for yet another year. Whether or not that includes another visit in town next year or not is still a big question. Either way, many fans and cyclists do realize the importance of this event and its impact.
This is by far the biggest race in the country, and the fans are incredible. I think every year you see 6 to 8 million fans on the side of the road and an economic impact over 500 million. Not only are we getting to do the best race in the country, but the state of California certainly benefits from that.
Cycling teams are easily recognizable on the track, but did you know there is an entire team that runs alongside them? Jesse Canales tells us how some victories begin at the garage.
This is what the cycling fans and aficionados see, but cycling is a team sport. The cyclists might get the glory, but the men behind the scenes, the mechanics, are the ones who make sure the bicycles are in the best condition so their teammates can celebrate at the top of the podium with the overall leader's jacket.
Behind the race, sort of what isn't often seen, every team has team cars or race cars. And each one has spare bikes for the riders. So if there was a small problem, like a broken wheel or a flat tire, we actually just change the wheel on the side of the road. And if there's a bigger issue, like a broken chain or some sort of equipment failure, we just change the bike and they keep racing on the spare bike.
The mechanics are in charge of the bicycles and the vehicles as well. Part of their maintenance responsibilities is to make sure the bicycles run like new after every race.
Every day, all the bikes get washed, the wheels get taken off, everything gets cleaned, and then we inspect everything. We lube all the pivot points, we double check brake pads, cables and housing, chains. Everything gets a full inspection, all the bolts get checked, the bike gets put back together, and then it's ready for the next day.
When you don't receive the glory and fame your fellow teammates do, it might seem overall like a thankless task to an outsider of the sport. But like Albert Einstein once said, life is like a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. And that is exactly what the mechanics do. Keep the bikes moving. For Cougar News, Jesse Canales.
High winds did not stop the Open Water National Championship at Lake Castaic this weekend. Jesse Merrick was there to cover the Olympic event.
Swimmers from across the country flocked to the Santa Clarita Valley on Sunday morning for the final day of the men's and women's open water national championships at Lower Castaic Lake. Hosted by the Canyons Aquatics Club, this event put some of the best distance swimmers the U.S. has to offer into the choppy waters of Castaic to fight for a chance to compete at the Open Water World Championships in Barcelona. Wind whipped through the Santa Clarita Valley, making the swim a little tougher for the men, but it didn't stop 22-year-old Andrew Gemmel of the nation's capital swim club from pushing his way to the front of the pack, taking first place with a time of 57 minutes, 22.07 seconds, and booking his flight to Spain.
I didn't have the best positioning, so I kind of had to work for it to be where I wanted to be. I kind of got caught in the back of the pack, and I saw people breaking towards the front, and I couldn't quite get there, so a little bit of panic trying to get to the front. But eventually I was able to make my way to the outside and then slowly move up on everybody. Whenever you get to represent the U.S., it's a huge honor, so you gotta fight for that chance every opportunity you get.
For the women, it was London silver medalist Haley Anderson who came away with the top time of 1 hour and 36.51 seconds. Representing the Trojan Swim Club, she fought on in true fashion, holding on to the lead down the stretch and finishing nearly 2 seconds ahead of the next swimmer.
I just wanted to go for it. I wanted to lead the whole way. I didn't want to be in the middle of the pack and getting pushed around, so I just stayed in the front, and that's what I wanted. So it means a lot. I've never won an open water title, so this is exciting.
Santa Clarita plays host to many sporting events throughout the year, but it isn't often you get to see Olympic caliber athletes competing against each other right in your own backyard.
I think it's really big because, again, this is a national championship. This is sponsored by USA Swimming. Those are the same people who do the Olympic swimming team. In fact, this is an Olympic sport, open water swimming is, and some of these people you saw today are probably going to be Olympians in the next go-round.
In a field of future and former Olympians, the 5K national champions in Andrew Gemmel and Haley Anderson both punched their tickets to Barcelona for the World Championships in July. Reporting from a windy Castaic Lake, Jesse Merrick, Cougar News.
The Foothill League definitely produces a fair amount of Olympic caliber talent. I got a chance to talk to the Saga sophomore who stole the show at the CIF Southern Section Swim Finals once again.
If you haven't heard of Abby Weitzeil, just wait. She's gonna be a household name.
Abby Weitzeil! 4:53.24, a new Foothill League meet and all-district record!
This Saga Centurion is taking the Foothill League by storm, winning back-to-back CIF Southern Section Division I titles in both the 50 free and 100 free, all while only being a sophomore in high school.
Going into last year, I had no idea, it was my first CIF, and obviously my goal was to win. Actually being able to win, and I was really excited. My goal last year, I was like, oh, I'm going to break the records in finals, I'm going to do it, but then I didn't end up doing that, so this year I was like, I'm getting those records, I'm doing it.
Without hard work, success is hard to come by, even with born talent. Head coach of the Canyons Aquatic Club, Coley Stickles, believes that Weitzel, with hard work, does have what it takes to be an elite swimmer for the years to come.
You could throw Abby in a pond by herself, and she's going to come out on top. I mean, she's really, she's that gifted. She's got some work to do, and I've never seen an Olympic level swimmer get to that level without hard work, even with the best genetics in the world. So she does have her work cut out for her, but she's also obviously very gifted, and a lot of coaches can see that.
As for balancing her time, Weitzel still finds a way to live a life how most 16-year-olds would.
Being just a normal teenager, I would say that, I mean, obviously being really close with all my swim friends, you know, that's just like, when I have time and when I'm not sleeping, I mean, I just, you know, hang out with pretty much my swim friends.
With her limited amount of experience, Weitzel is already blossoming into an Olympic talent, being invited to compete in the Olympic trials last year. As for her future, there's no telling how far her talent can take her.
From not having a lot of experience and knowing that I've only been swimming for 4 years and having this much success, I want to see what I can do. I want to get to, you know, the Olympic level. I want to be able to compete against the best swimmers in the world. I want to be one of the best swimmers in the world. I just want to keep going to see what's next.
That does it for this edition of Cougar Sports. I'm Kyle Gaffori. Back to you at the anchor desk.
Thank you, Kyle. Looking for a warm and tropical change of scenery this winter? Well, look no further. COC is offering a trip for students to visit an island few get a chance to see. Yvette Sanchez has the details.
This past Monday and Tuesday at COC, Professor Wendy Brill and Vincent Davahovich spoke about their exciting trip regarding photography and geology to Cuba.
I am probably the most excited about this more than anything else I've ever done here. And I've been here 6 years now, actually, starting my 7th year. So I'm very, very excited that students are able to take advantage of this opportunity to go to Cuba for the first time as Americans, because this is a very recent development, and it's educational tours are only ones allowed.
Students of all races and ethnic backgrounds came to the meeting eager to find out what they would be learning about this exciting trip that COC is offering.
Got a totally different perspective about the Cuban culture, as well as opening their eyes to the jadedness of being American without traveling. And I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing experience from a lot of different points of view, both academic as well as cultural.
COC is the first community college that will be traveling to Cuba for geology and photography. Professor Davahovich says that this will be a feather in the hat for COC.
It will be an eye-opener that they will take with them the rest of their lives. And it will open their eyes to maybe some of the things they take for granted, as well as some of the things that maybe the Cubans do better than us as well. I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's very difficult to go there. Maybe a little window of opportunity for Americans, and if it is, this would be an excellent time to join us and visit this place.
If you're looking to travel the world and learn about a new culture and a new environment, as well as photography, then this would be a great program. For Cougar News, I'm Yvette Sanchez.
For more information on this opportunity, email Vince at vincent.dahovovich@canyons.edu. This does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Travis Wade. Be sure to check us out online at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Stacey Lewis. Be sure to tune in next week for another special edition of Cougar News. Have a good night.
Good night.